From Central Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 Tonight.
Welcome back here to Fox 59 Tonight on the Fox 59 Now app and streaming on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, download that app as we continue to talk about what's happening between your house and the White House. It is November of 2025, so we should not be talking about politics in the way that we are when it comes to redistricting, because it's not time to redraw the maps. Now, it is time to talk about an election because we have a primary coming up, which is always typically a referendum on the party that is in power. Combine that with redistricting that appears to be happening in states across the country, including right here in Indiana. At any point, we are really expecting an announcement that a special session will be had here in Indiana to redraw the district's maps. A couple of weeks ago, it was months ago? A couple of months ago, we had a conversation in here where I said, look, this thing may happen and they may go all the way. The Republicans in power may decide, you know what? Let's wipe this map all the way red. Let's knock out Andre Carson. Let's knock out Frank Mervan up in Northwest Indiana. And I had some very intelligent ladies who were so convinced that even I was like, maybe they're right. I mean, they know more than I do. And said, no, they're not going to go that far. They'll do District 5. It's purple. They'll take that and leave the other seats. I said, Cameron, they won't go that far. But it appears they're going that far.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Oh my God, they just haven't wanted to hear so bad.
I do.
Okay,
it's not. I'm married. It's not often I get told I'm right. Okay,
that's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, you were right. Maybe right. They haven't announced it yet, and we haven't seen it yet. There's a lot of rumors about the maps. And yeah, so we'll see once it actually happens. I think really you never know what to expect. I was attempting to lean more into the true conservative nature of Indiana politicians. I figured they didn't want to spend the money and stuff like that. I think Trump has been threatening them with federal funding and things of that nature, and so now it's come to a point where he's kind of forcing their hand, and that's the vice president has been here 3 times, I think now. So yeah, I mean, now what I will say in me and Whitley's defense, you see all that it's taking to convince them. It's taking a lot.
It's taking multiple visits and phone calls. Yeah. So it's not, they haven't just rolled over and said they're doing it, but the tide certainly has changed to where people were saying, no, we're not going to redistrict. We don't need to do that. We're fine. Right. To some of those same people saying, all right, I'm in, let's do it.
And flat out lying. I seen a clip of oh my God, I want to say it was Jim Banks, but I can't remember which one. You'll have to look it up. But they were saying that the last census was rigged. It had this people in there and that people in there. It's like the last census was during the last time this fool was in office. If the census wasn't right under him, that still isn't justification for redrawing these districts midterm like this. As a matter of fact, it's not even we keep saying midterm redistricting, but we just redistrict in 21.
This is in the first
4
quarter.
years later. Yeah, this is the first half, right? This is ridiculous. It's out of pocket. And I mean, at this point, what do you expect though? We are seeing some of the worst politics, we've seen, especially in my lifetime, right?
We have, we talked before the break about Andre Carson.
Yeah.
He's been the representative of Central Indiana, Indianapolis for a long time now.
Yeah.
And if they redraw those maps, we have 2 Democrat representatives in Washington on the House side, Carson and Mervan, Northwest Indiana. There is a chance that if they draw these maps and say, let's go, all 9 districts need to be red,
Yeah.
that we'd have no Democrat representation in
Yes.
DC. And I'm also
it is a possibility.
I'm hearing two things now. One narrative is Indiana is all red, it's deep red, and it needs to represent that. And then I'm hearing other people say, well, hey, actually, need to be careful here because we're not as red as we've been known to be.
Facts.
If you actually count the numbers
Facts.
and where the people are,
Facts.
this could backfire.
Yes.
Because there's if a number of people who aren't voting decide to go vote, this could backfire.
Yeah. And I mean, we talked about this before too, but 25% of voters in Indiana are Democrats. Currently, the way the split is with 2 out of 9 Congress members being Democrats, that's about a 22% representation.
Mm-hmm.
It's fairly representative of where we're at, where we have a huge collection of Democrats in Marion County, end up in Lake County, where you see that representation.
Like right now, it's proportional.
It's proportional. We would love to see maybe one more. It would be nice, but it is, theoretically proportional.
Out of 9 districts.
Yeah, out of 9 districts. Right. And so the fact that they want to completely wipe out that representation is, it's unjust.
The thing that's most interesting is once upon a time in politics, people used to kind of say one thing, hint what they were doing or not at all, and then do something totally different. The game has changed now where people are just outright saying, hey, look, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, we want to gerrymander these maps. What?
The president has said,
yeah,
I am entitled to additional seats.
Yeah.
We're hearing Indiana Republicans say, well, we have to counter what Illinois does next door. If they're super blue and they're gerrymandering to be blue, we need to gerrymander to be red. Like, people are just outright saying, like,
not acknowledging too that they started this whole conversation. Like, no blue states would be considering redrawing anything if you guys weren't redrawing Texas to lose 5 seats, trying to redraw Indiana to lose 2 seats, trying to, every single one of these states. Like, if you weren't doing this would have never have been a thing. So it's like I poke you, and it's not even under the table, right? I was about to say under the table. It's like, no, I poke you, you get mad at me, and it's like, Mom, he yelled at me, and it's just like, what? Like, you started this whole thing. It feels very childish, very ego driven. But what I want us to not lose focus on is they want to win these midterm seats so that they can push things through Congress that are even more harmful than this. And that's what I want us to focus on. Like, one of the reasons why we cannot lose these seats across the country, even if we lose them here and some blue states have to redraw so that we still have that representation in DC, like, we have to do that. It's not an option. Like, I've seen a whole bunch of people kind of talking about how we can't, like, we shouldn't move the same way as them, and we shouldn't. I talked about that on here before. But when it comes like to this, when it's a strategy and a tactic, no, for every seat that we lose, we have to redraw in those blue seats in those blue states to get them back. Otherwise, we will not have the power or representation in DC that we need to have. And when I say we, not just Democrats, but we all benefit from a diverse Congress. And we lose that as people, like, consistently. We all benefit. I was just seeing, they're attacking Medicare and Medicaid and stuff. And I was just seeing that in the Affordable Care Act that they call Obamacare, the largest population of people that use that are Republicans. They're conservatives. The largest population that is enlisted in the marketplace is Republicans. And so it's like, as you guys are fighting these fights, you're not realizing you're hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself doing this. It's not just us. And so I think it's important that we keep those kind of things at the forefront, that these are selfish, greedy people only thinking about themselves, and you will also be burned, a general resident, in the process.
There are a lot of things that are happening. And it's actually hard to keep up. I just saw this notice come out from the USDA telling states that, hey, we may not have money to load up everybody's food stamp SNAP cards.
Yeah, they said don't next month.
Yeah, especially as we're getting ready to go into the holidays.
Yeah, but we're sending $40 billion to Argentina.
Are people you and I are deeper into the happenings of all this
Yeah.
than the average person. But are people paying attention to what's happening? Are they waking up? I know we had the big No Kings rally, but do people get what is really happening?
Yes. So yes, there are some, and I see, every month, every time a new issue comes up, I see more and more people, joining in, getting active, wanting to learn more, wanting to know more. I think what's unfortunate is the most vulnerable populations are the ones that we don't see rise up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's various reasons. I'm not blaming them at all, but they do need to rise up, because if we wait until it hits your front door, it's too late. So like next month, when they don't have, these families who desperately need these food resources don't have SNAP, like that's going to be too late. Those are families that we have to feed now. That hunger doesn't wait, for the government to open back up. Like that's insane. So we can't keep operating that way. And so somehow, some way, we have to start encouraging and activating folks. And even if that's, and this is the kicker, it's about making these processes and these things more accessible, easier to digest, and easier to be involved. And unfortunately, that is also what they're attacking, right? They want it to be less accessible. They want you to understand less. They want to throw out a whole bunch of lies, just a whole bunch of ridiculousness, so that they can sneak through. It's almost like a Trojan horse of like ridiculousness, so they can sneak through these really insidious things. Like, it's tough, and it's going to take all of us to really wake up and get active.
What are the Democrats? What are they saying in leadership in Indiana about this potential shift? I know a lot of people feel like, well, are there even enough people to make a difference?
Are there enough Democrats to make a difference? I think this is what we need to say, right? So right now, one of the areas we're being challenged is with like federal funding and stuff. And I think one of the appeals that we can make is, as residents, say that, listen, to not redistrict, we just need to take that L. I think a lot of elected officials, and more than we give credit to, right? We hear more about the terrible ones, because usually they're the louder, more ignorant ones. But there are solid ones that need to hear from you. They need to hear that this is important to us. They need to hear that representation and losing it is important to us. And they need to hear, this is the other piece, that there's consequences to them doing this stuff, and we need to follow through on those consequences. I love one time Mitch Gore's mom, we were talking about term limits, and Mitch Gore's mom said, there is term limits. It's called elections. It's called voting. And so what she's saying is every time an election comes up, we have the opportunity to put these fools out. And so for the ones that won't just do the right thing because it's the right thing, we need to make sure we have things in place to make sure we stand 10 toes down on what the consequences are of going against the people and what they want and what they're asking for from their elected officials.
Is there the leadership there from Indiana to, one, educate? And I guess I'm asking on the Democratic side in Indiana, who's getting people fired up to understand that, hey, you do have this choice. You can go vote. There is 25%. It's not 5% like people make you think it is. And Hamilton County is not as deep red as it once was. Like, who's inspiring and sharing that message?
There's not a singular effort in that. You see us doing it through our PC training that's in partnership with the Latino Democrat Caucus. You see them doing their own around immigration and stuff and getting folks fired up. You see the No Kings folks, Indivisible. You see all the different county party leadership. So there's not a single individual that we're all looking to for that. Unfortunately, should be our state party leadership, but it's not. But there is, however, multiple smaller actions that are turning out people like that No Kings rally, right? Because that was a collaboration of folks. If I didn't just do that lock-in, I would have been out there too. And so it's a lot of smaller movements, which I don't hate. You know, we need to build at a grassroots level, and that's grassroots work, a bunch of these smaller groups coming together. We just need to make sure that we effectively cause that coming together. But other than that, you know, yeah, there's several of us that are ringing the alarm, that are sounding the alarm, doing this leadership. Obviously Andrea Hunley too, but yeah, I think there's several folks.
Now, there are some people out there who are on the Democrat side or in the center who say, you know what, Republicans, go ahead and redistrict. Because this may not work out the way you think it is. Is that some of the hesitation of why this hasn't gone, why this hasn't been like, boom, let's go ahead and do this redistricting thing now? Because some are saying the numbers are there that if you move this district this way, you move it this way, you turn this district from purple to a light blue, and you could mess this up.
I talked about this last time. I talked about this the last time we were on here, when me and Whitley were on here talking about redistricting. It is 100% a dice roll, okay? Because what ends up happening is, like, on the latest round of proposed maps, you kind of see they take the northern and kind of the side parts of Marion County, and they go out and then they wrap down. And you have ones like the one on the that goes down to the southwest. That goes all the way down and grabs Evansville.
Yeah, I saw that.
So you're throwing in Evansville Dems with our Northwest Dems, right? And yeah, I think there's possibilities there where those districts are not as secure as possible. I think I said this last time, but it's roughly around like 700,000 people per district, something like that. And you have to get that amount of people in there. So it's definitely a careful game of drawing this out. Now, will we be able to flip those districts blue that first time around? I don't know. How fired up are you ready to be? You know? I don't know. But we cannot lose these midterms. We have to gain majority somewhere in Congress, and the House looks like it's the best one, and we need that. We need that.
If that does happen and they wipe out Andre Carson and Frank Mrvan, what do you think happens to Andre Carson? I'm gonna throw a wild card at you because somebody was like, Andre Carson could run for mayor.
Listen, you know what's so funny about that? I heard that too, and I actually mentioned that to him at our fundraiser. And he's like, "Oh, rumors." But let me tell you, I told him, "Don't threaten me with a good time, okay? Do not threaten me with a good time because I would love to see it. I would love to see it, but
I know you're a huge Joe Hogsett fan.
I am not." I am not. He needs to go as soon as possible. And as a matter of fact, if you guys have not seen the Indy Star Mirror Indy collab on the Mr. Clean, you need to go read that. Go Google that. Mirror Indy, Mr. Clean, Hogsett. Google that. Read it. It's important.
With all that happening,
yeah,
and then you have a Andre Carson in the mix, potentially, maybe, if this happens. Like, that kind of changes a lot.
Yeah. No, I think he steamrolls everybody. Let's be clear. He steamrolls anybody and everybody in Indianapolis and Marion County. Period. Steamroll. But again, I don't.
Is it too early to say names? I've heard everything from a Ryan Mears, to an Andrea Hunley. Of course, Joe Hogsett again.
Hunley excites me the most. I love people who speak truth to power. I love people who say and stand on what's right, regardless of whether it's going to be accepted or popular or even make their life harder. And she has consistently done that over and over and over again. I love to see it. What have we got? Are we 2 years? From mayor, 27.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, so
less than 2 years. Yeah. Well, no, exactly 2 years, really.
Yeah, but you'll start seeing them come out next year.
Yeah.
You'll start seeing them come out next year.
It's coming.
And yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I said. If he now, it's very slim. You know, I told you, I asked him about it specifically. He's all rumors, you know. So,
but he's like, but a backup plan.
I don't know. It'd be a nice backup plan. It'd be a nice backup plan. Again, I'd love to see it steamroll all the nonsense. We don't want Hogsett or Hogsett Jr. So
who's Junior?
Vop.
Oh, I thought you weren't calling him that anymore.
Hogsett Jr.
No, you were calling
Samuel.
There you go.
Yeah.
On a previous episode.
Well, I said because the people have to, you know.
Yes, they
won't know who I'm talking about.
I know.
About.
So this is your opportunity to say. So I called him Vop.
Yeah.
But I really now start calling him X, Y, and Z and explain
his name.
Yeah.
Because he is not the voice of the people.
Which is what Vop stands for.
Right.
And Samuel is his real name.
According to Wikipedia, somebody said that's not true, which I thought was interesting because it's like, well, fix the internet. I don't know. That's what it says.
We'll have to investigate what his real first name is.
Investigate what his real first name is. I don't know.
Okay. We're just about out of time. Anything else going on at IDEC, and what can people do to like stay informed and like really pay attention to everything going on, because it's so easy to get lost in these headlines.
Well, let me tell you, when it comes to IDEC, obviously our website is idec.org. You can subscribe there, and we do send out emails and stuff. But one of our most active places to really subscribe and get connected would be our Substack. So if you go to idec.substack.com and subscribe there, that's or it's IDEC State. I'm sorry, it's idec.state.substack.com.
Okay.
And if you go there and subscribe, you'll get all of our, everything that's coming up. So the PC trainings that are come up, which is good to come to, whether you plan on running for PC or not, because I'm teaching you how to run campaigns. I'm teaching you how to talk to neighbors. So if you do any kind of issue-based advocacy, if you do any kind of campaigns at all, it's going to help you.
Partisan or nonpartisan?
Yeah. Partisan or nonpartisan. Now, with this, it just so happens that because it's through the Democrat caucus and we don't elect Democrat PCs at the same time as Republican PCs, the Democrat PCs is what's coming up in the primary. Hopefully Republicans, you got some Republicans on the other side who will host some PC trainings for y'all when y'all's election comes up. But this is for Democrats. But it is helpful regardless. I think even if you're undecided, like come out, learn more about us, learn more about the work that we're doing, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
All right, Sam. The best words of this show was, you were right. Cameron, you were right. I saw actually there was an email floating around here at the station about something totally unrelated, but the first line of the email was, Cameron is correct.
Cameron is correct.
I love when emails start like that. I love it. All right. That's going to do it for this edition of Fox 59 tonight. We'll bring Sam back with the other half of this political duo with Whitley as soon as we find out when and if there will be a special session that the governor will announce about redistricting in Indiana. That announcement could come at any point and maybe happen in November as the midterms are coming up in the spring. We're in the fall now, so fall, winter, spring. Here we go. All right. I'll talk to you Sunday morning on my radio show, Open Lines on 106.7 WTLC and Hot 100.9. And then we're back here every night at 8 o'clock on Fox 59 tonight. Good night.